Are you a people pleaser? Me too. And I want to work on that and give myself more ability to say no and set clearer boundaries with people. My name is Leisa. I'm a mentor and a marketer, and I have two passions in life: personal growth and marketing. So why would this marketer share her journey to a women's retreat in New Zealand? Well, although I walk alongside others in their journey of growth through my mentoring, I also take my own fragile steps toward better understanding myself and developing my own growth. So as I take these steps, I want to share my own journey so that it might inspire yours. I'd heard about this beautiful women's retreat in New Zealand where women are encouraged to take space for themselves, embrace their own well-being and personal spirituality. Women are encouraged to make their journey their own and allow the Te Wahi Ora community to nurture them through their mind, body and soul, with everything from massage, counselling, yoga, spiritual support and even nutritious food taken care of. Sounded like an absolute dream to me, and I was particularly excited about meeting Bev Holt, a counsellor specialising in psychosynthesis and women's spirituality. So I packed my bags and jumped on a plane to take myself to the beautiful Piha Beach in New Zealand. I'm walking on the stunning black sandy beaches of Piha Beach in New Zealand, and I'm here to visit a place called Te Wahi Ora, which is a women's retreat right across the road from the beach. It's a great little community that is there to service women and give them a safe space to help them work on whatever they're there to work on. As a marketer with 25 years experience, I'm always working out ways of learning more about myself. And as I do, I feel like there's a better way for me to show up when I work with clients and businesses, but I'm a chronic people pleaser. I have a lot of trouble saying no, and I struggle to set boundaries, often to my own detriment. So I really wanted to use that understanding about myself to work with Bev Holt, who is a psychosynthesis expert and counsellor at Te Wahi Ora Women's Retreat in New Zealand.
Well, I'm Bev Holt and I'm a co-founder of Te Wahi Ora Women's Retreat at Piha, New Zealand. My background is in teaching and youth work, and I've been running Te Wahi Ora for 30-something years that we've been going. And the training I did in my second half of life with psychosynthesis, when I wanted to get some professional counselling training, was with psychosynthesis. Well, the main difference with psychosynthesis, you can't say that when you're eating, is that it comes off a spiritual basis. And I had always been very interested in spirituality. I'd been very sick as a child and often thought I was dying. So of course the whole thing of life and death and our part in it all was uppermost. So when I had a chance to do counselling training, I looked around for which one to go to, and I liked psychosynthesis mainly because it was based on spirituality, but also it was very action orientated. So all our training was exhaustingly active. It's all about doing, all about your own process. Psychosynthesis does not give people diagnoses. We are allowed to hold them in our minds. Oh, I think this person is depressed, or I think this person might be manic. But the whole point is that we would believe that this person has come into the planet with a soul, a self that wants to express itself, and she has to find the best way possible that she knows to do it. So my task is to help her to live expressing herself as well as she wants to. Probably the two main differences. I suppose the other one is a big emphasis on will. If a person is encouraged to find where their will is in any situation, their will might be if they are people pleasers, their will might be in keeping people close and friendly. And if the will is there, well, there's nothing much that can be done. But if they, in the process of the session, sees other possibilities and the will is opening to, I'd like to try something else, well, then you know they're on their way. Yes, psychosynthesis is very much around being aware of your own process, so that would be why we do all our training actively. So we're in small groups, we're on our own, we're drawing, we're standing on our drawings, pulling up the energy from the drawing and experiencing what it feels like in our bodies. So body, feelings, mind is hugely important in psychosynthesis. What is your body experiencing? What are your feelings? What's happening with your feelings? And what are what's your mind? Where is your will in this instance? What are you thinking? What stories are you telling yourself? So we do encourage long-term clients to be very aware of how they are in their bodies, what their emotions are, can they name them at this point, can they see them move on to the next feeling once they name it, and their mind, how's their mind working? So body, feelings, mind is one of the big techniques, and of course that leads to what we've been talking about today with nurture, the power of nurturing, the power of forgiveness, self-forgiveness. Forgiving others is easy and comes sort of naturally later on, but forgiving self is deep and significant, and the truth. And the other aspect of psychosynthesis is everything is about purpose, meaning, and value. And if somebody can see any purpose, meaning, and value in what's happening to them, they're on their way to processing it with real intelligence and awareness. So the big thing is, we've been looking at, for instance, your purpose in what you're doing with your multimedia. Meaning, what's the meaning about your concern with regard to being a people pleaser? It's all got meaning in what you're doing, so it's providing you with purpose. Your purpose has got meaning. And then, what's the value? Well, only that you can change the world with the way you are processing. That's huge.
So what did I get out of my experience with Bev? So when I sat down with her, I think to a degree I was definitely expecting to dig a little bit as to why I people please. But what I wasn't expecting is the why is much broader than just me and my experience and my makeup. That Bev really talked more about the history of women, and that this particular trait has kept us safe over thousands of years. And so whilst it is a personal issue for me, it's also quite a commonplace issue for women as a whole. And that gave me a much broader understanding that the issue I was trying to tackle was not just mine, but I had to reset some much more deep-seated behaviours that were developed over thousands of years of evolution. So first of all, I understood the issue better, not just from my personal experience, but from the history of women keeping themselves safe over thousands of years. But I also understood more about my why and what I needed in order to say no more confidently. So we did an exercise. Bev asked me in particular what it was that I needed in order to say no. And as we explored that, I better understood what I was seeking to get out of that situation by not saying no. And for me, it was a lot around being liked and wanting to keep people happy. And then we went into some very useful tools around how I can better communicate saying no. So we went through a little exercise, and I recognised that my tendency, if I do try and say no, is I make excuses. So number one sort of rule is not to make excuses, because it opens it up to debate. Then we went into this communication tool, which is all around nurture, forgiveness, and truth. And I really loved that. Like it was a very useful way of structuring your communication in a way that empowers you to communicate clearly, but for the benefit of both yourself and the other person. One of the other teaching moments that I think Bev gave me was around why I people please, and it being around sort of being liked. But she broke it down into a really cool way, which was, she asked me how many people were in the world, and I said 7 or 8 billion. She said, well, okay, so if one less person likes you, well, that's just one less than 7 or 8 billion that doesn't like you. So I thought that was a really cool way of breaking it down and not feeling that you need to be liked by everybody. It's also a lofty goal. You know, being liked by 7 or 8 billion people is an impossible task. There's going to be, law of averages, there's going to be a bunch of people in there that just, they don't like you. So being liked is not really helpful in governing how you undertake life. So often when I talk to people about mindful marketing, one of the first things they ask is why? Like, why the connection, and why am I trying to do it? Well, my answer to that is, well, I mentor people and businesses through the Marketing Mentor, and I do that to help them with their growth, whether that be business growth or personal growth. I'm a work in progress myself, and I love to understand what it is that has helped me become who I am today and how I can make better choices about who I want to be tomorrow. But while I'm on that journey of growth myself, I wondered if there might be some insights that I can create a mentoring moment for you. Sometimes there's a direct connection and sometimes it's not always so clear, but more often than not, it becomes very clear as I experience it.